My name is Jeroen Hendrik, CEO at CartUp AI. Today I want to talk for a couple of minutes about personalization of product recommendations. When the industry talks about personalization, it can mean one of two things. One, a set of product recommendations that is made specific to the product that I'm currently looking at. So for example, when I'm looking at this Bosch power saw, electric saw, I'm expecting recommendations that relate, accessories that relate to the saw. When I look at a Bosch Professional power drill, I'm expecting bits and drills, accessories that relate to the drill. And as you see here in the recommendations that relate to this saw, you also see that the industry is quite challenged by finding the right saw blades. So that's the first set of personalized recommendations. They're personalized because if you're looking at the saw and I'm looking at the drill, we both get recommendations personalized to our interest. The second type of personalization is when product recommendations are actually based on my previous behavior. So recommendations to me as an individual. That's also sometimes referred to as hyper-personalization. So let's go to an example again. If I am looking for my kids for specific bunk beds, for example, and I'd be logging off and picking up that same journey the next day and going back to the same homepage of that same company, I'd expect on the homepage to actually get some bunk beds recommended that allow me to pick up that user journey when I left it when I left it last night. So it's actually looking at my browsing data and tries to give me the right recommendations based on that. So those are the two type of product recommendations that the industry has, and CartUp AI does those two things and yet a little bit more. Let me demo this in our demo site. So here we are on our demo shop. If I go to a product page in our demo environment, we have this particular specific product, a yoga brick. Here I have a Joust duffel bag. When I look at the recommendations, perfect combinations, the first one is a watch, and here the first one is an actual sweater. If I look at the first viewed, also viewed, it is a yoga companion kit, and here viewed, also viewed is a yoga video and a workout short. So on this product page, I see a number of different recommendation carousels, and each of them are specific to the product I'm looking at. And there is a different options that we present here. For example, perfect combinations are items that are often sold within the same session, so they relate to things that go well together in the same basket, so they trigger opportunities for increased basket size, like accessories and bundles. Viewed, also viewed aims to provide recommendations around alternatives because these items have often been viewed in the same session with this bag. And content-based recommendations is a pretty smart algorithm. It looks at the name of the product and it applies natural language processing to identify similar names specifically relevant in electronics. For example, we have all of these specifications in the product name. So it looks at other Chromebooks or 4GB, maybe of Lenovo, in any case, Chrome OS. So it looks at similarities with natural language processing between the anchor product and all the other products and in their names. So this is how we apply a number of different variations of the first category of personalization. So here we are at our demo site again. And you see that here on the homepage, there is only a trending items recommendation. There is no second recommendation. So let me present that second recommendation. I started this session in an incognito window because I want to be, let's say, having a clean browsing history. So let me do some browsing. Okay, let me go to some men's tees, for example. Let me look at this t-shirt. Let me look at a hoodie. This one, for example, and now let me see if my browsing history, my browsing experience, my browsing behavior, I should say, has actually influenced the recommendation. And here we are. Now I got this recommendation because now the system knows me a little bit and it can give me an inspired by your browsing history recommendation, where you find male clothes specifically around tops. So let me, in addition, browse a bit of the gear category. Let me browse this bag. Let me look at that bag, maybe some other gear as well. And I see what that means for the recommendations. So let me go back to the homepage, see if anything has changed. I got to go to the right in order to see that. You find some gear here on the right-hand side. So now all of a sudden the browsing history has picked up. I'm looking at gear, I'm looking at male, specifically tops. So it gives me both recommendations, both type of recommendations. Now, this also allows me to talk a little bit about the thing we do in addition to what most of the industry does. As I said initially, you'll see here that the gear category is underrepresented in relation to the tops category. That is because we rank all of our recommendations after this initial algorithm that I've been speaking about. We rank the results from that algorithm yet another time based on product signals and visitor signals. The product signals is, for example, the popularity of items. So these tops are all very much more popular than these gear items. That is why they're represented a lot more in advance of the carousel than the gear items who are more in the back, who are less popular. Similarly, we are measuring visitor signals, and we are also ranking our algorithm, our recommendations based on visitor signals that we've picked up, for example, brand preference or color preference. Yeah, so that is how all of our recommendations are hyper personalized. So also the viewed also viewed and the cross-sell recommendations that are aimed at increasing the basket size, they will also be re-ranked based on what we know of you as a visitor in terms of visitor signals. So that is how we do personalization based on the products, personalization based on your browsing history, and then we re-rank everything based on popularity of the products and what we know of you as a visitor in terms of visitor signals. Now, let me talk briefly on where we apply this technology. We're currently in process of replacing these recommendation widgets. They're actually from Salesforce Einstein, and we're going to replace them as Hunkermuller has more confidence in CartUp AI than they have in Salesforce. I wanted to show you one more recommendation widget, which is, for example, this one. This is a so-called personalized recommendation recommended to you, but it's absolutely not personalized at all. So we're going to replace it with hyper-personalized recommendations. We're going to replace this make the look complete recommendation with automated AI-based identification of sets. Currently, this is all done manually. There was scores of interns getting these products together. And because it is done manually, it's also often lacking at some products, as you see here. Yeah, so this is one of the customers where we're currently implementing our recommendations, and we're actually replacing Salesforce Einstein. Another international brand whose problems we're solving is Bosch Power Tools, and specifically the accessory division. Their dealers are asking for support in identifying the right accessories to the right products. And obviously, Bosch accessory division is very interested in increasing the conversion rate of the accessories in the various dealer e-commerce shops. We saw at Conrad, which is one of their prime dealers, that the problem is absolutely not solved. So we are in a process of identifying the right accessories to the right power tools, fully automated based on existing product data. And we're then going to implement recommendation widgets, recommendation carousels into the e-commerce sites of the largest 50 dealers of Bosch Power Tools. And that solves both the dealer's problem as well as Bosch's objective of increasing conversion of their accessories. So these are some of the renowned international brands whose problems we're solving with our personalization technology. I hope this was informative. Thanks for your time.